The Wildcats play host to the McBain Ramblers.
Thank you, Mr. Gray.
We have a little bit of a presentation going on. I was trying not to interrupt it, so I apologize. I'm Jay Simon. Thank you for joining us here on 107.9 CDY. Highland basketball, Highland Conference girls varsity basketball action tonight here on 107.9 CDY. Flying solo tonight, Haley Miller, our producer and engineer, turning the dials for us back in the studio, coming on just a smidge later than we would like to, with a little technical difficulties, but we're coming to you from the Burkholder Family Funeral Home broadcast booth. This is your Pluger Mechanical pregame show. Licensed and insured for new installations, HX services, and light plumbing. Call Aaron or his brother Brad at 231-282-3194. That's 282-3194. They are introducing the Rambler starters. Sorry, introducing the Rambler starters. And now they're going to shut off the lights and keep me from being able to see anything. So I won't tell you who they are just yet. I love this, though. I will say this is fantastic stuff. I wish every school did this. They got all the lights out. The only light is the flashlights from the Everett student section, as well as the red and orange glow from the scoreboards. And now they've got a spotlight coming out of the corner as they introduce the Wildcats starters. And the best part about this, the JV coach is out at the top waiting for these kids to come out. And she's got a little fun thing to do with each of them as they come out, which is just spectacular. Gives it a real upper college pro type feel to it. And it is just absolutely fun and exciting thing for these kids to get that kind of an introduction. Oh, and there we go. Now I can see. Well, let's give you those starting lineups. They are the Northern Truck Service starting lineups. For the Ramblers, it is your usual. Don't see any changes out there. For veteran Hall of Famer Bruce Copeman, he will roll out a senior-heavy lineup of Caitlin Butzine, Annalise Ferdine, Sydney Hooker, Callie Hooker, and Addie Naderhood. The Wildcats will counter with sophomore Emma Dyer, junior Allison Thunick, junior Brooklyn Decker, senior Brianna Cass, and then senior Addison Gray, who scored her 1,000th career point this year and was celebrated at the beginning of this game. The tip easily won by the Ramblers, as the Wildcats actually had their 4 girls back in a zone defense, except for the one girl jumping, so it was easily won by the Ramblers. Then they dropped into a 2-3, and now we have our first turnover of the game as a pass by the Ramblers is tipped away. Here come the Wildcats going right to left across your radio dial. There's a tough pass fired through the lane by Thunick. And it goes off 2 Wildcat teammates and into the stands, so it'll be Rambler basketball. Just underway here in Everett. The Wildcats with 1 loss on the year in the Highland Conference, just recently lost to Lake City on the road. They had beaten the Trojans at home. So the 2 teams splitting the season series, and they both have just 1 loss in the conference. The Ramblers, meanwhile, with 2 conference losses. They lost to both Everett and McBain Lake City the first time through the conference schedule. As we get another turnover, loose ball on the floor, ends up to a jump ball. It will be Wildcat basketball. And they're home white with blue and gold trim. As Gray, the senior, she has a younger sister on the roster, but she's not on the floor yet. Gets the pass into Thunick, who drives with the left-handed layup attempt, no good, and they're going to say it went off the Wildcats, so it's going to be Rambler basketball. Now the Wildcats showing some token pressure here, a little bit of a 2-2-1 type look. Pass down to the right side. 3 attempts from the Ramblers. That was Sydney Hooker, no good, but Addie Naderhood in the perfect spot on the weak side gets the rebound, the put back, the hoop, and the harm, and she'll go to the line for a 3-point opportunity. Just inside 7 minutes to go here in this first quarter, as Naderhood can't get it to go, rolls off the front. And it's a 2-0 McBain lead. Over the timeline is Dyer. Dyer drives into a couple of black jerseys. Top side, 16-foot jumper from from Brooklyn Decker is no good. Now quickly the other way, and now we're gonna get a travel call as Callie trying to find her balance as she came up the right side. Took an extra step. The officials on top of it. Remains 2-0 McBain. Coach Copeman mentioning that Gray is a 3-point threat, and that little sister Kyra Gray, who's not on the floor right now and is a freshman, is a threat from deep as well. And as I say her name, she checks into the game. Brianna Cass will sit down, and Kyra Gray, the freshman little sister of 1,000-point scorer Addison Gray, checks into the game. I believe it was Mrs. Gray who was honored before the game. There's a beautiful pass to Naderhood on the left side. Misses the bunny, misses the putback. Callie Hooker with the putback on the right side. And it's good. The Ramblers with a bit of a size differential here with Naderhood and Hookers on the floor, both of them easily bigger than any of the Wildcats, as Unick trying to drive ran into Sydney Hooker, trying to bounce pass it into the lane. It goes off the Ramblers. It'll remain Everett basketball. Calling that a jump ball situation, as they didn't know who it went off of, apparently. So the jump ball goes to Everett, and they will inbound. Thunick, top of the key, over in the corner for Gray. Chased off the line quickly. Couple of dribbles to Thunick. Thunick wants to get over here on the weak side. Pump fake, drive. That pass is tapped away, but ends up in the hands of Thunick. This is Dyer. Dyer, left-handed dribble baseline, stops, pops from 10, won't go. And the rebound collected by Sydney Hooker one-handed. Now trying to get it past the pressure of the Wildcats. Up a set head to Fredine. Fredine's pass is going to be stolen by Kyra Gray. Here comes Kyra. Kyra with a crossover to the left side of the lane. A little right-handed scoop shot is good. Freshman gets the Wildcats on the board, 4-2. Ramblers, 5:15 to go here in this first quarter. Naderhood trying to get it underneath for Sydney Hooker. She'll kick it back out. And Elise Fredine will fire a three from the right wing and knock it down. Annalise Fredine makes it a 7-2 Rambler lead. Here's Kyra Gray trying to jump stop in the lane, ran into Naderhood, just missed the shot. Loose ball ends up in the hands of Dyer, and Dyer's pass out of bounds, and now we're going to get a foul call. I think this is going to be on Naderhood, as she aggressively came to defend Dyer's baseline drive and knocked her out of bounds. So first foul on the Ramblers on the floor, so it'll be inbounded and all by herself. Thunick and missed the bunny. Goodness gracious. Thunick all alone on the right side. No Rambler saw her. And then, but Zine's pass is stolen by Gray. The lefty will fire a three-pointer from the top of the key. No good. Annalise Fredine pulls down the rebound, and then trying to get past Gray. Stolen. Addison Gray's 15-foot jumper won't go. Gets her own rebound yet again. Thought about the three, now down low. Decker trying to swim around Sydney Hooker, can't do it, and Hooker knocks it away. Here comes Fredine, quickly up the left side. Tough shot, won't go. Rebound into the hands of Kyra Gray. 4:10 to go here in the first quarter. Kyra Gray all the way to the other end. Little Euro step, lays it up and in. Kyra Gray with a fantastic move to get around her Rambler defender. And it's a 7-4 Rambler lead. Now that loose ball is going to go off of Callie Hooker, and it'll be Everett basketball. $3:50 to go here in this first quarter. Ramblers lead at 7-4. Kyra Gray, little pump fake, turnaround, jumper from 12 is good. Kyra Gray, the freshman, with all 6 Wildcat points. It's a 7-6 McBain lead. As we again see this kind of 2-2 zone pressure coming from the Wildcats. Ferdine beats it. Ferdine up the left side. Little jumper won't go. Rebounded by Sydney Hooker. Her putback won't go. Callie Hooker with another putback. And she draws the foul. This is going to be on Emma Dyer. And Callie Hooker will go to the line. Well, head coach Carrie Kunkel has already expressed her displeasure at the lack of boxing out by her Wildcats. I'm sure she's going to remind them again here. Can't push them out of the way when the ball is in their hands, but you can certainly push them out of the way when the ball is up on the rim. Right now, the Ramblers are having their way as they're getting inside, doing damage on the interior. Callie Hooker splits the pair. It's an 8-6 Rambler lead. Funick, top of the key, working against Naderhood. To Dyer. Dyer bounces and takes it back out to the right wing. Now drives baseline, cut off by Naderhood. She'll turn around. Looking down low for Decker, who gets inside the defender, lost the handle, goes across the lane to Funick, and now we're going to get a 3-second violation. Some really nice interior passing by the Wildcats, but they just couldn't collect the ball sufficiently to get a shot up on the rim. And the multiple black jerseys around them might have had something to do with it. Ramblers break the press again. Callie Hooker looking for an extra pass to Naderhood. Could have probably taken that right to the rim on the right side. Tapped away. Addison Gray. Kick out to Kari. Into the corner, 3-ball from Dyer is no good. Butzine with the rebound. Butzine will try to bring it up. Again, beats the defense. Long 2 from Sydney Hooker is short. Rebound pulled down by Kyra Hooker. Kyra Gray. Goodness. And Gray, spinning on the interior, lost the ball. But I believe this is going to be off the Ramblers. It'll remain Everett basketball. Kyra Gray, just a freshman, all 6 points for the Wildcats right now as we get a substitution. Sydney Hooker will take a seat. And we get the Rambler freshman, Peyton Grant. Kyra Gray gets underneath her and scoops it up, gets it on the rim, and gets it to go. What a move. Kyra Gray showing all kinds of skill from the right side of the rim as Peyton Grant brings it over the timeline. For Dean and Butzine, now the Wildcats settle back into a 2-3 zone defense. Might be more of a 1-2-2, hard to tell. Top side Butzine. Hard to run their motion offense against this, but why bother? Peyton Grant with the 3-ball from the left wing knocks it down, and the Ramblers go up 11-8 with 1:40 to go here in the first quarter. Dyer looking for a backdoor cutting Addison Gray. Lefty laying won't go. She's been all over the rim, just can't get it to finish. Callie Hooker with the rebound, and then that's tapped out of bounds, so the Ramblers will inbound right in front of the scorer's table. Ramblers going left to right across your radio dial. Their road black jerseys with green and gold trim. Butzine to Ferdine on the right wing. Back to Butzine, top of the key. Open for 3. Butzine knocks it down. The senior is the 3rd Rambler to knock down one from distance. And it's a 14-8 Rambler lead as Kyra Gray again getting underneath. Kyra Gray, excuse me. Well, I keep messing up that young lady's first name. I apologize. Couldn't finish on it. And this goes out of bounds. So it'll be Rambler basketball. A minute to go here in the opening quarter. Ramblers with a 14-8 lead. Callie Hooker puts a shoulder in the defender, can't finish on the left side of the rim, pulled down by Dyer. Dyer doesn't have numbers, but she's attacking the rim anyway. Stops, pops from 12 and knocks it down. Emma Dyer, the sophomore, unafraid of the fact that she had 3 black jerseys back to defend, stops short of him and knocks down the little jumper. Annalise Ferdine on the right wing. Looking, trying to get it down low to Callie Hooker, who's trying to post up Dyer on the inside as the Wildcats have gone back to a man-to-man defense. Ramblers not running that motion offense. Now they are. But Zine left open for 3 again and knocks it down. Nice pick set I believe by Callie Hooker, frees up Butzine, and it's a 17-10 Rambler lead. Shot at the buzzer by Dyer is good. So the Wildcats answer, and a frenetically paced opening quarter ends with the Ramblers leading at 17-12 here in Everett. We'll take a break, a Little Town Jerky break, and be back right after this.
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools has a legacy of excellence in education and athletics, starting at a young age. The new Little Wheels preschool program gets the youngest Ramblers ready for elementary school. The state-of-the-art Ellenboss Performing Arts Center is a community cornerstone to nurture young creativity and talent. Technology is king in McBain, where every student gets their own school-issued MacBook. From preschool to high school, give your student the McBain advantage. Learn more at McBain.org.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain, or in Lake City at 45 Maury Road.
And welcome back to Everett High School. Jay Simon along with you. Haley Miller, our producer and engineer, turning the dials for us back in the studio. This presentation of Highland Conference girls varsity basketball action brought to you in part by McBain Rural Agricultural School, Snappy's Garage, 34 on Main, the Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, McBain Hardware, and Kluger Mechanical. Our sincere thanks to all of our broadcast partners for allowing us to bring these games to you. Ramblers with a 17-12 lead over the Highland Conference leading Wildcats, co-leaders with the Lake City Trojans, a team that beat the Ramblers on their home floor earlier in the year. Ramblers trying to return the favor as they've got the ball out of the time, the corner switch, and Caitlin Butzine, who knocked down 2 triples in that first quarter with a little drive and dish to Callie Hooker for the lay-in, Sydney Hooker for the lay-in. As Addison Gray on the other end, they're going to say no shot. The foul was before the shot attempt. Addison Gray, the standout senior for the Wildcats, splitting the defense and getting inside. Got the shot up on the rim, but the officials saying the foul was committed before the ball got up on the rim. So see who they get for this. You're sandwiched between 2 Ramblers. No indication yet. It looks like they got Butzine. So Wildcat basketball. Unick driving and run into by Sydney Hooker, who came over late to try and defend. And that's an easy call, as Sydney was not there in time. And Thunick will go to the line. That was the previous fouls on Butzine, as I mentioned, her first. Thunick is at the line, shooting a pair of free throws, makes the first. Off the mark with the second. Dyer nearly had the rebound, but then it's pulled down by Izzy Roosevelt, who's checked into the game. Here's Peyton Grant for 3, way off the mark, but that was a beautiful pass because Roosevelt, hustling on the weak side, collects the rebound after it grazes the rim and puts it back up and in. It's a 21-13 Rambler lead. There's a bounce pass attempt that's knocked away by the Ramblers. 6.5 to go here in the second quarter as Peyton Grant gets it back to Butzine, top of the key, looks to the bench for the call as the Wildcats looks like a bit of a matchup zone as they're just trading off people as they come across. Looks like a, no, that's man-to-man. They're just switching on the picks. Roosevelt, top of the key, like I know what I'm talking about. Over to Butzine, trying to get it down low to Sydney. Sydney manages to find Annalise Ferdine, top of the key. Her 3 won't go. Hooker with the putback, no good. And then it's knocked out of Roosevelt's hands, so it'll stay Rambler basketball. McBain's got a size advantage against most teams in the Highland, but this Everett team After talking to Coach Copeman, just a great shooting team. Addison Gray, Kyra Gray, who had 8 in that opening quarter. And then Brooklyn Decker, Emma Dyer were a couple of other names he had mentioned to me that they were concerned with. But ball not dropping for the Wildcats just yet in this first quarter. And the Ramblers with 3 triples from distance, as there's a beautiful little cut down the lane. Izzy Roosevelt, a beautiful bounce pass to Callie Hooker for the left-handed lane, and the Ramblers take a 10-point lead with 5.5 to go here in the first half, as Addison Gray, the 1,000-point scorer, lefty, brings it over the timeline. Over to little sister Kyra. Kyra cut off nicely. Nice bounce pass, though, on the inside for Decker. Decker blows the bunny, though, and the ball ends up in the hands of Grant. Up ahead to Ferdine. Ferdine wanted to hit Callie Hooker on the block. Shot fake drew both Everett defenders, but then it goes off the legs of the Wildcats, so it'll remain Rambler basketball as Roosevelt takes the seat. Ferdine takes the inbounds pass. Right side of the lane, looking down low. Gets it to Callie. Callie. And we're going to get a foul down below as Callie with a nice little left-handed spin into the middle of the lane, trying to finish with the right hand. Cannot. She'll go to the line for a couple of free throws. Oh, it's a good thing Gary's not here. Hawkeye with the night off. He'll be back, though, this week. We've got 2 more games for you this week, Thursday night and Friday night, as the McBain and NMC girls and boys with a back-to-back nights. The girls will be Thursday night in McBain. The boys will be Friday night in McBain. Callie goes 1 for 2. 24-13 Ramblers. Addison Gray trying to split the difference between 2 defenders again. Couldn't make the shot, looking for a foul, not getting it. Grant back topside to Butzine. Back to Grant on the right wing, working against Decker. Looking for a cutting teammate down low. Now gives it to Naderhood at the top of the key. Back to Ferdine. Ferdine into the paint. Little short 15-footer. Back iron no good. Rebound pulled down by the freshman Kyra Gray. She'll bring it up the right side. Gray, little move. Quick burst to the rim. Now kicks it out to Addison. She'll drive. Fires from 18 and knocks down the long 2. So Addison Gray, the standout senior, finally gets in the books. And it's a 24-15 Rambler lead. Butzine into the corner for Grant. Down low for Naderhood. Naderhood looking for help across the lane. She'll fire it up top for Butzine. 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Ramblers lead by 9. Butzine looking to the bench for the call. This is Ferdine, now gets it back. Left-handed dribble down the left side. Cut off. Looking for help. Top side for Ferdine. Gives it up to Butzine as the Wildcats in a man-to-man, but not really pressuring the passing lanes all that much here. Naderhood top of the key. Butzine at the right elbow. Down low for a cutting Grant. Blocked from behind by Kyra Gray, and the loose ball scooped up by Thunick. Nice block by the freshman. She'll get it on the left baseline. Gray, right-handed dribble, top side for Decker. Working against Callie Hooker, looking for some help. Grant trying to harass her fellow freshman Gray. Gray gets off a 14-footer, no good, and the rebound, they're going to say it went off of Everett. It'll be McBain basketball. 3:06 remaining here in the second quarter. Ramblers lead at 24-15. Ferdine down low for Hooker, across the lane for Naderhood, who misses the bunny, and the loose ball rebound collected by Thunick. 2:45 to go as Gray gets it up to Decker. Decker swings it around for Dyer. Dyer with a little no-look on the interior to Thunick. Beautiful pass, but Thunick struggled to collect it. By the time she did, she had both Callie Hooker and Naderhood in the area, and the ball ends up in the hands of Callie. 2.5 to go here in the first half. But a quick first 16 minutes of this game. Butzine directing traffic top of the key. She'll get it to Naderhood, who comes out to collect it above the three-point line. To Grant. Grant down low to Callie. Callie with a little one-footed turnaround. Lay-in is good. 26-15 Ramblers, 2:03 remaining here in the first half. Addison Gray, kick out for Kyra. Down low, Decker now on the baseline. Decker gets around her defender, gives it up to Thunick. Over to Addison Gray. Gray working against Butzine. Kick out to Dyer. Dyer with a nice little pass to Thunick on the baseline, but again, cut off by Nader, couldn't get a shot off. Addison Gray. Back to Thunick. Thunick tries to drive in, now kicks it back out to Dyer. Minute and a half to go. Back out to Thunick. 18-foot jumper is too strong. Rebound ends up with Gray. Kyra Gray swung around back to Addison for three. Front iron no good, and the rebound into the hands of Callie Hooker. Quickly over half court. Callie with one girl to beat tries to Euro step, and we're going to get an offensive charge. Great position by Thunick. Callie tried to Euro step around her and just didn't clear Thunick. And the offensive foul will give the ball back to the Wildcats. Fourth on the Ramblers. First on Callie Hooker. Addison Gray will bring it over the timeline. Minute 10 remaining here in the first half. Callie Hooker shows. Addison tries to split the defense, a little jump stop. Can't make it. The left-handed bunny. Less of a bunny. That was a tough one. She tried to jump stop through the two defenders. They didn't give her any space whatsoever. Not even Addison Gray could finish that one. Naderhood brings the ball down low, which is a mistake, as Thunick says, thank you very much. Jump ball will belong to the Wildcats. Got to keep it above your head when you're playing a team that's shorter than you are. They're waiting for you to do that. And Thunick took advantage. Naderhood will take a seat. Coach Copeman having a little conversation. Kyra Gray will bring it over the timeline for the Wildcats, going right to left. Over to Decker. Harassed by Callie Hooker, and she's going to travel. Trying to find space around the long arms of Callie Hooker, and she slid the pivot foot while doing so. Back to the Ramblers as Peyton Grant, the freshman, over timeline. Ferdine, top of the key for Sydney Hooker. Over to Grant, thought about the three, now down low to Callie. Callie trying to make a move out to Grant. And Grant's going to travel. Nope, we're going to get a 3-second call on Hooker. Thought they were going to get Peyton for the classic pick up the pivot foot before you put the ball on the floor travel call. The area of focus, I'm told by my referee friends, is a near steal by Hooker. Gets it to Thunick. Trying to get it down low to Dyer. Pass a little too strong, and it goes off of Dyer out of bounds into the Rambler basketball. So 8 seconds remaining. 26-15. As Copeman calls out a play. Grant back over to Ferdine. Ferdine up ahead to Callie. 3 seconds. Over to Grant. Grant at the buzzer. Back iron no good. But with 2 quarters in the books, the McBain Ramblers have come into the Highland Conference co-leaders Everett Wildcats house. They've got a 26-15 lead with some stellar first half defense. We'll take a break. The McBain Hardware halftime show's coming your way. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this little town jerky break right after this.
SRM Concrete is family owned and all about community. That's why they're supporting this broadcast. SRM Concrete was founded in 1999 with one singular goal: to provide superior ready-mix concrete service for your commercial and residential projects. With locations across northern and central lower Michigan, there's an SRM Concrete near you. From order to on-time delivery, the SRM Concrete team guarantees you'll be thrilled. Quality concrete, Unmatched service. That's SRM Concrete.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family. And their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain.
Or in Lake City at 45 Maury Road.
Making the final arrangements for a loved one is never easy. At Burkholder Family Funeral Home in McBain, they can help you get through the process one step at a time. Serving the families in McBain and the surrounding communities for over 40 years, they take pride in providing exceptional services that families can actually afford. The caring and compassionate staff at Burkholder Family Funeral Home can help ease the burden. Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Visit them today at 211 North Pine Street in McBain or call 231-825-8191.
With hard work and determination, Mary McNally's Dream is now open. 34 on Main Deli, which is inside McNally's Party Store in McBain. With breakfast, a rotating soup of the day, and daily specials on their Facebook page. All meals are homemade, including comfort desserts and a dessert menu. Open 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., and private catering is available. Call 825-2357. 825-2357. 34 on Main is a proud local sponsor of the McBain Ramblers.
For 5 generations, the Ebels family has been here to serve you.
Now, from 2 locations.
From quality meat processing to our little town jerky smoked meats, then home-style foods from Dawn Fresh Catering, we've got it all.
Visit the Bridge Coffee Shop to grab a frappe while you're shopping
in Ebels Clothing Department. Come see what's in store at Ebels in beautiful downtown Falmouth and uptown Reed City.
A name you'll never forget, Snappy's Garage. Snappy's Garage is just that. They'll get you in and out in a snap. They're located just outside of Falmouth and can service your vehicle, ORV, diesel engine, or any other automotive need. Snappy's Garage is fully licensed and ASE certified. Call 231-429-2549. Snappy's Garage. It's more than a name. It's Scott Genema's way of doing business.
Parents, if you want your students to be college or career ready by the end of high school, then CTC is the place to be. I'm Haley from McBain High School, and the Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center in Cadillac is preparing me for the job of my future. Students from all over the region can choose from 15 career-driven programs, with some offering a free associate's degree through 13th year training. It's the best place for me to learn hands-on skills. Find out more from the Career Technical Education link at WMISD.org and see why CTC is the place to be.
26-15, the McBain Ramblers have come into the house of the Highland Conference co-leading Everett Wildcats, and they are being very ungracious guests as they have stormed out to an 11-point lead over the only once beaten in the conference Wildcats. They sit atop the Highland Conference in girls varsity basketball with the Lake City Trojans, with both teams beating the other on their own floor. And the Wildcats right now trying to hang on to that co-lead, but the Ramblers, who sit just a game back with 2 losses to both the Wildcats and the Trojans, trying to make a case for the top level themselves. You're listening to girls varsity basketball, Highland Conference variety, Everett Wildcats, McBain Ramblers. I'm Jay Simon. Gary Hawkeye Vanna has the night off tonight. Haley, Senior's favorite, Miller, turning the dials for us back in the studio as our producer and engineer. Rich Speister, the world's most overqualified board op, I know is at least within shouting distance, help distance, if need be, back there in the studio. So a lot of hands go into this. Our sincere thanks to them all. This broadcast brought to you in part by Northern Truck Service, McLean Transmissions, FIAM, and we've had 4 FIAM 3-pointers in this game by the Ramblers. L&J Meat Market, Burkholder Family Funeral Home, SRM Concrete, and McBain Auto Service. Our sincere thanks to all of our broadcast partners. for allowing us to bring this game to you. This is the McBain Hardware Halftime Show. See Ron or Tyler for all your needs. As Gary's brother-in-law will tell you, if McBain Hardware doesn't have it, you probably don't need it. And another quick reminder, if you're leaving our listening area or you're losing our radio signal, you can listen to us anywhere in the world where you've got a decent internet connection. Just head on over to YouTube, search for 1079 CDY Sports, and you can listen to us anywhere. We've had people from overseas listening to us on previous broadcasts. McLean Transmissions allows us to bring that streaming to you. For anything transmission related, for quality used cars, call 231-779-1394. That's 779-1394. McLean Transmissions on La Chance Road. As I mentioned, halftime here in Everett. Run down the scoring for you from that first half. Ramblers were paced by Callie Hooker, who had 8. Caitlin Butzine knocked down 2 triples in that first quarter. She's got 6. Also knocking down jumpers from long range. Peyton Grant and Annalise Ferdine each with 3 apiece. Izzy Roosevelt has a bucket. Addie Naderhood has a bucket. And Sydney Hooker has a bucket to round out the scoring for the Ramblers, who went 2 of 5 from the charity stripe in that first half. Meanwhile, for the Wildcats, they got 8 out of freshman Kyra Gray, all of those coming in the first quarter, and all of those coming pretty much right after she checked in. She did not start, checked into the game, and immediately went to work, as she has shown a dizzying array of moves, especially on the right side of the rim. Sophomore Emma Dyer has 4 points. Addison Gray, the senior, older sister of Kyra, and a 1,000-point scorer in her own right, has been held to just a bucket that came in the second quarter. And Allison Punick is 1 of 2 from the charity stripe to round out the scoring for the Wildcats, who were just 1 of 2 overall from the charity stripe in that first half. I mentioned the Ramblers sit at 11-4 overall, 8-2 in the Highland Conference. It's a 3-horse race at the moment. Beale City sits in 4th place. They are 5-5. So between the Ramblers, the Trojans, and the Wildcats, it's a 3-team race for the top. The Trojans are 14-1, 9-1 in conference play. Their only loss coming to Everett here at the Wildcats' home floor. Everett is 13-2 overall, 10-1 in conference play. Their only loss coming to the Trojans in Lake City. The Wildcats and Trojans both beat McBain the first time around. The Trojans beat the Ramblers 33-27, and that was in McBain. That was in Lake City on January 20th. It's about a week and a half ago. Meanwhile, Everett beat the Ramblers in McBain 61-44. So holding this obviously offensive fire-powered Wildcat team to 15 first-half points is an incredible accomplishment. You look down the game list for this team, they were held to 34 by the Trojans. Nobody else has held them under 40. That has been the McBain Hardware halftime show. And the Ramblers will have the ball to start the third quarter, going right to left across your radio dial. Butzine into the corner for Ferdine. Down low for Callie Hooker. Spin move out to Butzine. Back to Ferdine on the left wing. Spun around again as the Wildcats looking to trap the ball up top. Addison Gray running the top of this sort of 1-3-1 defense here. The weak side wing always dropping down, but that's what's open. Annalise Ferdine, as the Ramblers swung it back around in that 1-3-1 defense. And if my good friend Kevin Gregory were listening to me right now, he'd tell me if I'm completely wrong, but in that 1-3-1 zone, the weak side wing dropping down to help out the one at the bottom. as the Ramblers like to put to their big girls down low. But that was the only person who could get back out on Ferdine. And Ferdine had all kinds of time to knock down that triple. On the other end, Ramblers with a steal. Quickly the other way is Callie Hooker, and she is hammered from behind. She'll go to the line for a couple. And I think we're going to get a timeout as Coach Carrie Kunkel wants a conversation. It is a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. 7:05 remaining here in the third quarter. Callie Hooker is at the line. Ramblers with a 29-15 lead, their biggest of the game. And the story of this one is the stellar shooting from outside. Annalise Ferdine and Caitlin Butzine with a pair of triples each. Peyton Grant, the freshman, also has one. So 5 from long range for McBain has been easily the difference in this one. Wildcats have a couple jumpers from about 18 feet, but nothing from outside the arc. Out of the timeout, Callie Hooker at the line, knocks down the first. Second freebie on the way. Good. Callie knocks them both down. It's a 31-15 Rambler lead. And we're going to get a travel violation as Brianna Cass, I think, wanted to pass. Might have been thinking about shooting, thought it was going to get blocked and tried to change it to a pass and ended up just kind of throwing it out in front of her and ended up traveling as she picked it back up. So the Ramblers with the ball, inside 6:50 to go here in the third quarter. Butzine and Ferdine up top as they work it back and forth as the Wildcats now in a little bit more of a 2-1-2 zone look as they keep changing things up. Here's Ferdine on the weak side. As Cass gets underneath her, Ferdine can't get it to go, but she's going to draw the foul, and she'll go to the line for a couple. So whatever adjustments from the first time these two teams met that Coach Koopman has made, Ramblers are doing a great job. First few possessions, they struggled as the Wildcats knocked a bunch of passes away. But since then, they have settled in and are doing a nice job of moving it around. Faith Hamilton checks into the game for the Wildcats as Cass will take a seat. Ferdine knocks them both down. That'll make Dad happy over there on the Rambler Review. Addison Gray swung around. Kyra Gray left wide open on the left baseline, knocks down the triple. Kyra Gray's got 11 of her team's 18 points. It's a 33-18 Rambler lead. Ferdine to Callie Hooker. Top side for Naderhood, holding it above her head, looking for help. Over here to Butzine. This is more of a 2-3 zone look now by the Wildcats. Sydney Hooker. Again, Rambler's not even dribbling the ball. This is just a passing clinic right now. Not putting it on the floor, just working it around. But Zine does. Gets off the jump shot. Won't go. Naderhood with the rebound. Oh, I don't know about that one. But I think he said she picked up that back foot. Naderhood took 2 steps forward, didn't keep that left foot down as she took the shot, so official calling her for the travel. Faith Hamilton cut off by Naderhood. Loose ball knocked around, and Butzine's going to go to the ground and come up with it. And now we're going to get a timeout by Coach Koopman, I assume 30-second variety, as he calls the timeout to retain the ball. 5:31 remaining here in the third quarter. Ramblers with a 33-18 lead. If you're a Rambler fan, and if you're listening to this broadcast, I assume you likely are, you're excited. This is good news, without question, that the McBain has jumped out to this lead. But if you saw the first contest when they put up 60+, you know this Wildcat offense is dangerous, and especially at home, they can get comfortable, start knocking down long-range shots. So the Rambler defense will have to keep its level up. And if anybody that has played for Bruce Copeman knows, you want playing time, you play defense, and you rebound. Ramblers with the ball out of the timeout. Butzine back to Fredine. Skip pass for Sydney Hooker. Little floater won't go. Loose ball ends up in the hands of Dyer. Dyer will bring it over half court. Going left to right are the Wildcats. Uses a pick, trying to get away from Callie Hooker. Bounce pass for Gray, and Butzine chasing her down, knocks the ball away into the hands of Sydney Hooker. Over here to Sydney now on the left wing. Top side for Butzine. Pump fake over to Fredine. Open for three. No good. Way strong. And Hamilton, the loose ball taken away by Sydney. And now we get a jump ball. That'll be Everett basketball. .450 remaining here in the third quarter. Ramblers lead it by 15. Addison Gray working against Butzine. Uses a pick, cut off, finds Thunick. Butzine is not even looking at Thunick as she is basically just chasing Gray around everywhere she goes. Addison Gray swings it back around to Thunick. Thunick drive, kick out for Kyra Gray. Her three just off the mark, chased down though by Hamilton. And now she's gonna get it taken away. And we'll get a jump ball situation as Sydney Hooker again getting in, tying up Hamilton. This time it'll go Ramblers' way. 4:20 to go here in the third quarter. Ramblers still lead by 15. Naderhood at the free throw line. Surveying will kick it out for Sydney Hooker. Top side for Butzine. Over to Fredine just inside the three-point line to Naderhood. Down low for Callie Hooker, wide open, who lays it up and in. Not sure how Callie Hooker becomes invisible on the interior, but must have. 35-18 McBain. Thunick will throw up a jumper from 16, no good, gets her own rebound. To Kyra Hooker. Excuse me, to Kyra Hooker. To Kyra Gray. Too many Hookers and too many Grays on this team, these teams. Loose ball ends up in the hands of Callie. Up ahead to Sydney. Cross court to Naderhood. Back to Sydney. Excuse me, Callie, who lays it in with the left hand. Some beautiful passing from the front court of the Ramblers. Sydney to Naderhood, back to Callie for the lay-in, and it's a 37-18 Rambler lead. Another timeout on the floor. This one's a full, so we'll take a little town jerky break, and we'll be back right after this.
From sales and service to parts, your complete automotive experience begins and ends at McBain Auto and Truck Center, specializing in sales of rust-free Southern trucks that have never seen road salt. They offer professional repair on all makes and models, all the parts you'll need if you're a do-it-yourselfer, and a great selection of used cars and trucks. One stop is all you'll need. McBain Auto and Truck Center on Maury Road, just north of McBain. Proud to support all of our McBain student athletes.
And welcome back to Everett High School. Jay Simon. That is not a travel. That is not a travel. No idea. Well, listen to me. Like I know. Maybe it is. The two hardest jobs in the universe, ladies and gentlemen, are officiating and mothering, and I want nothing to do with either one. So it's a thankless, difficult job, as there's a steal by Thunick. They called the travel on Decker on the other end. Thunick with the steal. Here comes Kyra Gray. Kyra surveying. Gets down low to Thunick. Lefty lay-in won't go over the trees of Roosevelt and Hooker. And now we'll get a foul on the Wildcats. It's going to be on Thunick, I believe. Allison Thunick, the junior. Just the second foul on the Wildcats. Ramblers have yet to commit one, evidently. There's a steal in the backcourt, though, by the Wildcats, and Addison Gray somehow gets that ball up and off the glass and gets it to go. And one steal in the backcourt and a bucket is enough for Coach Copeman, as he will use his second 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Take a moment to remind you, if you're leaving our listening area, don't forget, well, actually, I'm going to take a moment to remind you that you're listening to WCDY McBain Cadillac Lake City. And if you're leaving our listening area, thanks to McLean Transmissions, you can listen to us anywhere in the world where you've got a decent internet connection. You can go to 1079cdy.com. I believe the logo is still the Rambler logo over there on the right, the game logo. Should take you to our YouTube channel. You can also just go to YouTube and search for 1079 CDY Sports. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, let you know every time we are on the air with a game here on 1079 CDY. Out of the timeout, Ramblers with the ball. We'll break the press, but Zine working against Addison Gray. We'll hand it off to Sydney. Top side for Izzy Roosevelt. Back to Sydney. Sorry, this is Callie. But Zine, as the Ramblers now running their motion offense, Wildcats back in a man-to-man. Sydney Hooker, top side to Callie. Down low for Butzine, threw her hands off her shoulder and into the hands of Addison Gray. Here come the Wildcats. 37-20 Ramblers, 2:05 to go. Addison Gray with a quick three from the left wing. And the senior says, I'm going to throw y'all on my back if I have to. Ramblers inbound it quickly. Ferdine gets it down, and then topside for Butzine. They'll run their offense again. Minute 50 to go here in the third. 14-point Rambler lead. Kyra Gray trying to harass Butzine. Here's Ferdine. Ferdine driving, left-handed jumper, short. Tapped around, and that's going to go off of Kyra Gray. Should be Rambler basketball. We're saying that's Wildcat basketball. Now the referees will converge. And they agree that it is off the Wildcats. Again, this is why I don't officiate. I don't see this stuff fast enough. So kudos to these men and women who wear the black and white stripes out here so these kids can play. There'll be a little plug for MHSAA.com. If you're interested in becoming an official yourself, go sign up. Here's Kyra Gray driving inside, and we get a blocking foul on Sydney Hooker, who came across to cut her off. Contact was made. Problem was Sydney probably could have tried to draw a charge of some sort there, but I don't get the impression that she's willing to do that. Officials converging to discuss this again. Kyra Gray is going to go to the line. Might have been a discussion about whether or not she was in the act of shooting yet. She did try to shoot right away as soon as she drew the contact. Kyra knocks down the first, unsurprisingly. She's got a great free throw stroke. Minute 26 remaining here in the third quarter. Ramblers had an 11-point halftime lead, have led by as many as 14. Trying to hold off a Wildcat comeback here in the third quarter as Gray knocks down both free throws. Butzine, bounce pass down low for Callie. Callie double team. Yeah, we're going to get a foul as the officials are going to discuss this again. You like to see them get it right. See if they both saw it the same way. Callie had the ball above her head. Two defenders converged on her up high, and one evidently got the arm. They're going to get it on Decker. Fourth on the Wildcats. Ramblers inbound under their own basket. Ferdine, right-handed dribble, working against Dyer. Top side for Butzine, working against Addison Gray. Butzine dribbles to the right side. Back top side now for Callie. Back over here to Izzy Roosevelt, being harassed by Dyer. Down low for Butzine. Lefty lay-in won't go. Rebound, though, ends up in the hands of Sydney, who couldn't collect the ball and took the extra step before putting the shot up. So the travel violation will give it back to the Wildcats. 37-25, inside a minute to go here in the third. It's like Naderhood is about to check back in along with Grant. Dyer, harassed by Sydney. Cross-court pass for Addison Gray. Addison with a right-handed shot won't go. Weak side rebound pulled down by Sydney. Butzine will bring it over half court. Harassed by Gray. And now we're going to get a foul call. She was trying to knock that away. And this is what you would expect from your senior. Addison Gray, the 1,000-point scorer, honored tonight for that accomplishment, which is an incredible, stellar accomplishment. Would love nothing more than a Highland Conference championship. They need this win tonight to keep themselves in the running. Both the Wildcats and the Trojans, having split their season series, need to run the table. Ramblers need to get wins against both schools. As Ferdine loses the ball out of bounds, it'll be Rambler basketball. 30 seconds to go here in the third. Peyton Grant underneath for Callie Hooker, who swoops in and lays it in from the right side. Nice find by the freshman. And it's back to a 39-25, 14-point lead. Kari Gray, what a little hesitation move all the way to the 10. Can't get it to go, though. And Peyton Grant will try to bring it over the half-court mark. Annalise Ferdine back to Grant. 8 seconds. Grant working against Addison Gray. Over to Ferdine. And we're going to get a foul on Kari Gray. Kyra Gray is going to pick up the foul on the floor. 6th on the Wildcats, so the Ramblers will inbound with 3.4 ticks remaining. Peyton Grant will inbound. Watch for Peyton Grant to get this right back. Gets it into Ferdine. Ferdine back to Grant. Fires at the buzzer. Oh, in and out. Nearly knocks down the buzzer-beating three, does the freshman. But 39-25, your score. After 3 quarters of play, Ramblers will try to hang on and steal a win here in Everett. We'll take a break, a Little Town jerky break, and be back right after this.
Parents, if you want your students to be college or career ready by the end of high school, then CTC is the place to be. I'm Haley from McBain High School, and the Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center in Cadillac is preparing me for the job of my future. Students from all over the region can choose from 15 career-driven programs, with some offering a free associate's degree through 13th year training. It's the best place for me to learn hands-on skills. Find out more from the Career Technical Education link at WMISD.org and see why CTC is the place to be.
From sales and service to parts, your complete automotive experience begins and ends at McBain Auto and Truck Center, specializing in sales of rust-free Southern trucks that have never seen road salt. They offer professional repair on all makes and models, all the parts you'll need if you're a do-it-yourselfer, and a great selection of used cars and trucks. One stop is all you'll need. McBain Auto and Truck Center on Morey Road, just north of McBain. Proud to support all of our McBain student athletes.
Here we go. 107.9.
And welcome back to Everett High School. Jay Simon, Lions Total. Hawkeyes got the night off. We've got Haley, Senior's favorite Miller, turning the dials for us back in the studio. That was going to be off of Callie Hooker anyway. Callie Hooker trying to inbound the ball. Ball ended up falling to the floor. Callie had 1 foot out of bounds. The ball was touching her other foot. Should have been off of her immediately. No call was made right away, so she just kicked the ball. Here's Dyer for 3 for the Wildcats. No good, but the rebound grabbed. Oh, my goodness gracious. The thing about that, as Naderhood and Decker are tied up. That's Thunick. Naderhood and Thunick were tied up. Naderhood's just hanging on to the ball. Thunick went spinning, flying to the floor. That wasn't because Naderhood did anything. It's because Thunick is trying so hard to tear it away from Naderhood. And Naderhood's grip is just too strong. 4th quarter underway here in Everett as Thunick takes the inbounds pass, looking for some help on the right baseline. Luckily, not pick up that Right foot gets it to Dyer, the sophomore, on a little beautiful pass for Gray. Back to Gray for three is good. Kyra Gray finding big sister Addison outside the arc. And Addison makes it count. On the other end, ahead of the defense is Sydney Hooker. And Sydney able to drive and lay it in. So the Ramblers answering quickly. Loose ball on the inside. I think that was Gray with another jumper or another drive on the interior. I'm going to give that to Addison. I did not see who made that shot. Too busy trying to write down the previous stuff. 6:50 to go here in the ballgame. Ramblers lead it by 11. 41-30 as Naderhood hands it off to Fredine. She'll give it up to Grant. Uses a pick. Grant being harassed by Addison Gray. Addison Gray trying to pick her pocket. Gets it over to Fredine. Top side for Callie Hooker. Callie, weak side for Grant. Grant left open for three. Back iron, no good. Trying to chase down her own rebound. Battling for it with Gray. We'll get a jump ball situation. Good hustle from the freshman. Ramblers had it to start the quarter. It'll be Everett basketball. 6:24 to go here in the ball game. Ramblers lead by 11. They've led and extended their lead after every quarter. 5 after 1, 11 at the half, 14 entering the fourth quarter. And Addison Gray 3 and a couple of traded baskets has trimmed the lead to 11 with 6:24 to go. Actually, it is Rambler basketball. Jumper in the corner by Sydney is way strong, and Addison Gray with the rebound. Addison wants to use a pick, does. Gets it back over to Decker. Decker puts it on the floor. Left-handed layup is good. No help defense came across. And Brooklyn Decker has her first bucket of the game. 41-32 Ramblers. The Wildcats putting on pressure. We expected this to come, and here it is. But Zine being harassed by Kyra Gray. Gets it off to Sydney. Sydney will put it on the floor. Sydney going to the rim. Layup is good. Sydney Hooker with a strong drive. Lays it up and in with the right hand. Back to an 11-point Rambler lead as Kyra Gray ran into a standing Rambler. That was Naderhood. Bounced off of her, took another step, got the shot off. No foul call, no travel call. Probably a good no call, I guess, because I don't think anybody knows what happened. Goes out of bounds. It'll remain Wildcat basketball. 5:36 to go here in the ball game. Decker, kick out to Addison Gray, harassed by Grant. Drives across the lane. Little floater with the left hand. Back iron, no good. Rebound pulled down by Naderhood. Finds Fredine. Fredine's got numbers. Fredine up the left side, working against Thunick. Left-handed layup won't go. Rebound grabbed by Thunick. Solid defense from Thunick, and now she takes a shot. And she is in some pain. She might have lost. That could be a goof. She is holding that left shoulder after running into Callie Hooker. So Thunick's going to go over to the bench. They're going to get Cass back in. I assume there's a foul call on Callie Hooker, but they haven't put it up on the board. Sorry, I was trying to listen to see what the call was going to be, but there's a nice pass inside. Decker going to the rim, can't finish, but she'll draw the foul from Callie Hooker and go to the line for a couple. 5:04 remaining. Thunick ran into Callie Hooker and immediately went down holding her left shoulder. Concerned she might have dislocated it, something popped on her, but she did walk off with it hanging normally, which was a good sign. She's on the bench right now, just kind of trying to shake it off. Brooklyn Decker is at the line. Misses the first. Hopefully Thunick is all right. Decker misses them both, and she crossed the line, so it'll be Rambler basketball. 43-32 McBain as the Wildcats pressure in the backcourt. Get it into Peyton Grant. Grant trying to run up the right side, goes behind the back, working against Cass. Crosses her over again. Grant into the corner for Callie Hooker. Callie will put it on the floor, hand it off to Butzine. And we're going to get a jump ball as Addison Gray gets inside and gets a hold of the ball. It'll stay with the Ramblers with 4:51 to go. McBain leading by 11. Butzine will inbound. Fredine, pump fake into the lane. Left-handed floater, short. Rebound tapped around to Fredine. Kyra Gray with the block on Fredine. The loose ball ends up in the hands of Gray. Here she comes. Over to Dyer on the right wing. Dyer, step back three in the face of Callie Hooker, who might have got a piece of it. And the loose ball ends up in the hands of the Ramblers. 4.5 to go in the game. Fredine, back to Butzine, top of the key. Ramblers running the offense. Dyer tries to step inside and take it away from Callie Hooker, and Kyra Gray with the foul. She got a lot of ball, but a lot of arm as well, apparently, and so Kyra Gray will send Callie Hooker to the line for a couple. Callie makes the first. No messing around for this young lady. She gets the ball, bounces, and goes. She's ready to shoot right away. Naderhood will take a seat. Sydney Hooker checks back in. 2 bounces. Free throw off the mark and chased down by Addison Gray. 44-32 Ramblers. 4:09 to go in the game. Gray spinning away from several defenders. Now goes around the corner. Tries to step inside on Butzine. And we're going to get another jump ball underneath. Gray was trying to Euro step around Butzine. Got her left foot kind of caught up on Butzine. I think Coach Kunkel is looking for moving screens and moving defenders on the Ramblers as they come over to defend. They come over hard with their arms up, and I think Coach Kunkel believes they are still sliding their lower bodies into the offensive player. We've got a foul. This is going to send Cass to the line for the Wildcats. Brianna Cass, one of only 3 seniors on this team. Logan Statz, who we have not seen yet, the other senior, along with Addison Gray. As Cass gets herself into the books, knocks down the first free throw. Second freebie. Back iron, no good. Rebound is chased down by Cass. Good hustle from the senior. Top side for Addison Gray. Addison with the left-handed dribble, tapped away by Grant. It'll go out of bounds. It'll remain Everett basketball. So the freshman harassing the senior, who definitely wants to shoot from outside the arc. Peyton Grant knows that and is not going to allow it. He's not biting on anything. Cass will inbound. And we're getting a stoppage in play, and I think we might have somebody who is going to be asked to leave the gym, I believe. Official doesn't like the way a fan is talking on the sideline, and so this gentleman is going to be asked to leave the gym. Both coaches using this opportunity to talk to their kids real quick. And we'll get back underway as Dyer will inbound for the Wildcats on the far sideline. Going left to right are the Everett Wildcats. 44-33, Ramblers lead by 11. Hit it into Cass. Quickly over to Addison Gray. Chased off the line by Grant. Great job by the freshman. Here's Cass driving into Sydney Hooker, who held her ground, basically blocked the pass as she was going to the ground. And then the Wildcats throw it out of bounds. It'll be Rambler basketball. 3:36 to go in the game as Butzine will inbound. As fast as the first two quarters went, this fourth quarter may take 3 or 4 times longer as the intensity is really ratcheted up. Grant in the corner. Sydney Hooker open for 3. Good! Sydney Hooker has 7 in the quarter, and it's a 47-33 Rambler lead back to 14 points. Addison Gray looking for help. Finds Decker. Decker curling around the left side of the lane, trying to go over the top of Callie Hooker, and she dragged the foot as she tried to pump fake Callie Hooker, but Callie, with about 4 inches in height on her, didn't even move because she didn't need to. It's now Butzine looking for help, and we're going to get a timeout before the 5-second call from Bruce Copeman. This is going to be a full because it's all he's got left. So we'll take a break here at Everett High School. 47-33 Ramblers with the lead, a little town jerky break, and we'll be back right after this.
McBain Rural Agricultural Schools has a legacy of excellence in education and athletics, starting at a young age. The new Little Wheels preschool program gets the youngest Ramblers ready for elementary school. The state-of-the-art Ellenboss Performing Arts Center is a community cornerstone to nurture young creativity and talent. Technology is king in McBain, where every student gets their own school-issued MacBook. From preschool to high school, give your student the McBain advantage. Learn more at McBain.org.
In the small town of McBain lies a locally owned family pharmacy that takes pride in helping improve the health of every patient that comes through the door. At McBain Family Pharmacy, you're more than just a prescription. Here, you're family, and their experienced team of professionals are always available to answer any questions you may have regarding prescription and over-the-counter medications. McBain Family Pharmacy is your full-service family pharmacy for both traditional and compound medications. Call them today at 231-825-8175. That's 231-825-8175. Or stop by their store, located at 119 North Roland Street in McBain, or in Lake City at 45 Maury Road.
And welcome back to Everett High School. Jay Simon with you as we're going to get a foul call as the Ramblers inbound. Dyer getting a handful of Annalise Fredine's jersey. Everybody on the McBain side saw that one. 47-33, the McBain Ramblers lead the Everett Wildcats here in Everett. Girls High School varsity basketball action, Highland Conference variety, brought to you by Kelly's Pizza and Grill, McNally's Party Store, Littletown Jerky, Judy K. Gildy Photography, Northern Michigan Christian School, Eagles General Store, and McBain and Lake City Family Pharmacy. Our sincere thanks to all of our broadcast partners for their support. And are we getting an intentional foul? The officials discussing things. Right now, the Wildcats over by Coach Kunkel. Coach Kunkel is discussing things with one of the referees. Annalise Fredine was going to the line. It would be a one-on-one situation because of the foul. It's the 8th team foul on the Wildcats. Ramblers with just 3. Of course, the Wildcats have been playing a little tighter defense, trying to get turnovers, get the ball back. They trailed by 14 coming into this quarter. They still trail by 14. McBain trying to avenge one of their 2 Highland Conference losses in this season. Wildcats beating them earlier in the year at home. McBain's trying to return the favor here in Everett. Their other loss coming last week against Lake City. And they'll get their chance against the Trojans in the regular season finale. Everett and Lake City traded wins on their home courts. And they both have 1 loss in the conference. McBain with 2, trying to knock them both off. As Annalise Fredine at the line. Her 1-1 is good, but this is going to also be McBain basketball. So that's a huge turn of events. I'm not sure if that was a intentional foul situation because of the jersey grab or what, but Ramblers with possession now and a chance to extend this lead. 16 is the margin with 3 minutes remaining in the ballgame. 49-33. Callie Hooker puts it on the ground against the freshman Kyra Gray. It's up top to Peyton Grant, her own freshman. Each team with 1 on this varsity roster. Ferdine working against Dyer. Top side for Callie Hooker. Puts it on the floor, right-handed dribble, now back to Grant. Down low for Butzine. Butzine curling, right-handed shot won't go. And the rebound pulled down by Dyer. Here comes Dyer the other way. Addison Gray, a little shaken up on defending that shot. Looks a little gimpy running up the left side as Dyer with a nice little Euro step on the interior gets it to go. 49-35 Ramblers with 2:10 remaining in the ballgame. Gray hasn't left the game. Addison Gray has not. Ferdine hands it off to Grant, harassed by Cass. Tate Grant looking for help. Cass knocks it away from her, and that goes through the official's legs and out of bounds, and it's going to stay with McBain. Everett doesn't like it, and now the officials are going to talk it over. Baseline official wants to address it. McBain's walking the other way like they know it's off of them. And they do agree that it is white ball. We like to see the officials get together and get it right. That's a great thing. Minute 49 to go in the ball game as Addison Gray brings it over the timeline for Everett. Harassed by Ferdine and Grant. They know what she wants to do. They don't want to let her do it. Trying to get past across the way for Decker. Decker misses the bunny and the rebound grab by Callie Hooker. Addison Gray is finding open players. On the other end, Sydney Hooker off the pass from Annalise Ferdine lays it up and in. Sydney Hooker with 9 in this final stanza. It's a 51-35 Rambler lead as the Wildcats scrambling now. Minute 15 to go in the game. Decker in trouble. Finds Cass. Cass into the lane. Outside for Kyra Gray. Topside for Addison. Addison step back three is short. Rebound collected by Butzine, and then we'll get a tie up and a jump ball. Inside a minute to go. Butzine gets it into Grant. 16-point game. I would assume the Wildcats will not foul purposely, but we'll just try to play tough defense. Butzine dealing with that from Gray. Now we're going to get a tie-up, and now it'll be Everett basketball. Get more tie-ups than a haberdashery. I actually don't know if haberdashery is the right word. A nice little backdoor cut by Kyra Gray from Addison. Can't make the layup, though, and out of bounds off the Ramblers. It'll remain Everett basketball. These two sisters have played a little hoops together. Kyra with a nice backdoor cut. Addison finding her. And now she finds her again as she streaks toward Addison. Misses the shot. And now it ends up in the hands of the Ramblers. Kyra Gray will knock it out of bounds. 30 seconds left. The Ramblers with a 51-35 lead are going to avenge one of their two Highland Conference losses here. Butzine gets it into Grant. Back to Butzine. Bringing it up against Addison Gray. Back top side for Grant. Hands it off to Butzine again, and then we're getting another jump ball as the Wildcats continue to step in and try to tie it up. Ball will go back to the Ramblers. 18 seconds left. Rambler fans on their feet, applauding their girls' efforts as Ferdine trying to drive on Dyer, knocked out of bounds. Rambler basketball with 7.8 ticks to go. Coach Coatman coaching to the end. Calls out the inbounds play. Don't go anywhere, folks. After this, we'll have the Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show for you. And that'll do it. 51-35, the Ramblers with an impressive victory over the Everett Wildcats. Everett falls into a tie with the Ramblers for second in the Highland Conference. Lake City enjoys now the top spot all alone with just one loss, with a rematch with the Ramblers facing them at the end of the season. We'll take a break. collect our stats and thoughts, and be back. The Kelly's Pizza and Grill postgame show coming your way after this little town jerky break. Right after this.
SRM Concrete is family-owned and all about community. That's why they're supporting this broadcast. SRM Concrete was founded in 1999 with one singular goal: to provide superior ready-mix concrete service for your commercial and residential projects. With locations across northern and central lower Michigan, there's an SRM Concrete near you. From order to on-time delivery, the SRM Concrete team guarantees you'll be thrilled. Quality concrete, unmatched service. That's SRM Concrete.
Making the final arrangements for a loved one is never easy. At Burkholder Family Funeral Home in McBain, they can help you get through the process one step at a time. Serving the families in McBain and the surrounding communities for over 40 years, they take pride in providing exceptional services that families can actually afford. The caring and compassionate staff at Burkholder Family Funeral Home can help ease the burden. Burkholder Family Funeral Home. Visit them today at 211 North Pine Street in McBain or call 231-825-8191.
With hard work and determination, Mary McNally's Dream is now open. 34 on Main Deli, which is inside McNally's Party Store in McBain. With breakfast, a rotating soup of the day, and daily specials on their Facebook page. All meals are homemade, including comfort desserts and a dessert menu. Open 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., and private catering is available. Call 825-2357. 825-2357. 34 on Main is a proud local sponsor of the McBain Ramblers.
For 5 generations, the Ebles family has been here to serve you.
Now, from 2 locations.
From quality meat processing to our little town jerky smoked meats, then home-style foods from Dawn Fresh Catering, we've got it all.
Visit the Bridge Coffee Shop to grab a frappe while you shopping
in Ebles Clothing Department. Come see what's in store at Ebles in beautiful downtown Falmouth and uptown Reed City.
And welcome back to Everett High School, where the McBain Ramblers have put the finishing touches on a 51-35 victory over the Highland Conference co-leading Wildcats, who are co-leading no more as they fall into a tie for second place with the Ramblers. Lake City Trojans enjoy a 1-game lead with just the 1 loss to Everett at the top of the standings. It is basically a 3-team race, and the Ramblers have just made it that much more interesting with the win tonight on Everett's home court. I'm Jay Simon. Our producer and engineer, Haley Miller, back in the studio. Turn the dials. Hawkeye with the night off. This is your Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show coming your way. Tonight's broadcast of girls Highland Conference varsity basketball action brought to you in part by McLean Transmissions, L&J Meat Market, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, Judy K. Gildy Photography, McNally's Party Store, and FIOM. Our sincere thanks to all of our broadcast partners. And speaking of FIOM, big key in this one, the Ramblers knocking down 3 FIOM three-pointers to walk away with the 16-point win. It's an impressive showing for a McBain team that seems to be putting things together here as we roll through this season. That Trojan loss was a tough one, but they'll get them again later on. I want to give a quick shout out to KG listening in back in Cadillac. Appreciate that. Let's run down the scoring for you from this one. The Wildcats were paced by the freshman Kyra Gray, who finishes with 13 points. Big sister Addison Gray, the senior, the 1,000-point scorer, was held to just 2 in the first half, came alive with a couple of long triples, and finishes with 12 on the game. They get 6 from Emma Dyer, the sophomore, a bucket from Brooklyn Decker, and a free throw apiece from Brianna Cass and Allison Thunick. Allison hopefully okay. She's the one who suffered that shoulder injury in the second half after running into Callie Hooker. She never came back into the game. Hopefully that young lady will be all right. Meanwhile, for the Ramblers, they were paced by Callie Hooker, who finishes with 17, 8 in the first half, 9 in the second. A dominant performance down low by the seniors. Sydney Hooker gets 11 on the night, 9 of those coming in the final stanza. They get 10 from Annalise Fredine, 6 from Caitlin Butzine, 2 triples coming in the first quarter as they jumped out to that early 17-12 lead. and then never gave it back up. Got a triple from Peyton Grant, the freshman, who also played some excellent defense on Addison Gray, and then a bucket apiece from Izzy Roosevelt and Addie Naderhood to round out the scoring for the Ramblers. They go 9 of 13 from the charity stripe. The Wildcats were 4 of 8. Fine job by the Ramblers shooting from the line tonight as well as from outside. Just a really good shooting performance. Speaking of KG, felt like a KG Sunday night for the Ramblers out there. Everything falling from outside the arc. We've got some post-game awards to give you here in the Kelly's Pizza and Grill post-game show. We usually put all this pressure on Hawkeye, so this is not normal for me having to come up with these decisions. But we do need to give you some specifics. First of all, the defensive player of the game brought to you by L&J Meat Market. Just like L&J Meat Market, our defensive player of the game is in your grill, as the kids would say. This is usually, while I was talking, the color analyst would have time to think about it. So you're going to have to give me a second as I think about it. I'm looking over at Lars Fredin, who called this game for the Rambler Review. His daughter Annalise had a great game tonight, finishing in double figures. I think of Peyton Grant and the job she did on Addison Gray, the standout senior for Everett, and the harassment that she put on her when she came into the game, using her length to give Addison trouble and not allowing her to get off any threes. And I think I just talked myself into that. I'm going to give it to the freshman. Peyton Grant is your L&J Meat Market defensive player of the game. That's an easy one. Need to give you a Judy K. Gildy photography picture perfect play of the game. And I am going to go with the front court passing carousel that came between Naderhood and the Hooker cousins, as Sydney found Naderhood, who found a cutting Callie for the lay-in. Bang, bang, bang. Beautiful little keeping the ball up high passing display from those three. That is your Judy K. Gildy photography picture perfect play of the game. That allows me to then let you know, remind you that this broadcast, brought to you by a number of our broadcast partners, couldn't do it without them. Sincerely grateful to each and every one of them. If you get a chance to stop into any of these businesses and tell them you heard them here on this broadcast, thank them for allowing us to bring this game to you. We would appreciate it greatly. They include Northern Truck Service, Littletown Jerky, Judy K. Gildy Photography, Pluger Mechanical, McBain Hardware, Ebel's General Store, Wexford Misaki Career Tech Center, L&J Meat Market, Burkholder Family Funeral Home, Kelly's Pizza and Grill, McBain Rural Agricultural Schools, Snappy's Garage, 34 on Main, McLean Transmissions, Theom, McNally's Party Store, SRM Concrete, McBain Auto Service, and McBain Lake City Family Pharmacy. And that leaves me with just one last item of business to take care of. That is, of course, the most exciting 15 seconds in all of sports, but only when Gary is doing it. That is the Hawkeye Player of the Game, brought to you by McNally's Party Store. And this is where Gary would give you some feedback about the game and how he was thinking of going chalk, but then he thought he would ying when you yang, and I'm not going to give you any of that. It's a pretty open and shut case for me. Some excellent defense down low and a game-high 17 points. Your Hawkeye Player of the Game, brought to you by McNally's Party Store, is senior Callie Hooker. Congratulations, Callie. Make sure you stop by Senior's office and collect whatever trinket it is he is handing out these days. That's going to do it for us. For our producer and engineer, Haley Miller. For Rich Spicer, I'm Jay Simon. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on this Tuesday night game of the week on 107.9 CDY. We will be back on Thursday night as the first of back-to-back game nights. We will have the Northern Michigan Christian Comets heading across the tracks to take on the McBain Ramblers in girls varsity basketball on Thursday night. And then we'll have the boys in McBain on Friday night. And you can only hear it right here on your home for Rambler and Comet basketball, 107.9 CDY.
This live broadcast of McBain and NMCS basketball
No,
on
you're
107.9 CDY has been sponsored by Burkholder Family Funeral Home, McBain Auto and Truck
Thank you,
Center,
Haley. Fine
McLean
job.
Transmissions,
Don't feel bad
Kelly's
about that
Pizza
mouse.
and
It
Grill,
deserved it.
L&J Meat Market, McNally's
Way to
Party
get us
Store,
on the air.
34
Get
on
spots
Main,
going.
McBain Rural
All by
Agricultural
yourself.
Schools,
Proud of you.
Pfluger Mechanical,
We'll talk to you Thursday
Judy
night.
K. Gildy Photography, McBain and LC
bet.
Family
See ya.
Pharmacy, SRM Concrete, Wexford Misaki Career Technical Center, Northern Truck Service, McBain Hardware, Snappy's Garage, Evil's General Store, FIAM, and Northern Michigan Christian School. Join us next time